Now, more lead has been found in the drinking water of a Wisconsin school district as lead contamination continues to be a problem in places all over the country. Now, this is a report from Wisconsin that said that drinking fountains at 6 Madison School District schools have been found to have lead levels higher than the national standard. Now, all 6 schools tested had at least one fountain with lead levels higher than the national standard of 15 parts per billion. As you guys might know, contact with lead kind of dangerous, especially for children who are developing. Even small amounts in their bloodstream can cause irreversible brain damage and stunt people's growth. In fact, the CDC says there is no safe levels of lead in their blood for children. Now, Wisconsin isn't the only one. This has become an epidemic. Other areas around the country that have seen elevated lead levels in children's blood and in the water supplies is one of them is Brooklyn. Nearly 10% of all city public schools tested for lead in their water were found to have heavier contamination levels by those allowed in even the new EPA standards. You also have Florida. Last spring, 16 North Florida schools were tested for lead, and all of them were found to have a significant chunk or portion of lead in their water. Then you have Georgia. High levels of lead were found in the drinking water of 28 elementary schools, 11 middle schools, and 9 high schools in one county school system. You also have Pittsburgh, that's having their own issues with lead in the schools' drinking water. I mean, look, this is an enormous problem. In fact, in 2016, a Reuters investigation found that children living near a Superfund site in East Chicago, also that used to host heavy lead-based industries, had elevated levels of lead in their blood. And not only that, but I believe Jordan Sheridan covered this, where they had essentially built these housing projects for poor people on top of an old lead smelting plant. This is what they've got. I mean, they found that the area around this housing complex was contaminated with lead. And last fall, the EPA discovered that lead was also leaching from corroded pipes and carrying drinking waters to the 40% of the homes that were tested. And these are just a few of the examples of massive lead poisoning in water supply systems all over the country, all over the nation. It's gotten to the point where you can't even trust drinking your tap water anymore unless you have a lead filter. Because who knows how many places have failing water pipes that are leaching lead into the water, or had placed, these housing projects in places where they had heavy lead manufacturing. I mean, this is what's going on in America, and it's a disgrace. It's an embarrassment,
Yeah, we're the richest country in the world, and
and we're
we
poisoning our kids.
we don't have clean drinking water for people. It's yeah, it's pretty remarkable what's happening.
And we're destroying the EPA, by the way. While
Hmm.
this is going on, we're
Because who needs them?
defunding the EPA. Scott Pruitt, I mean, his whole point of taking over the EPA is to dismantle it so that these companies can make an extra buck. It's an absolute. I mean, it's a disgrace. It's an embarrassment. The richest country in the world can't take care of our own citizens, can't get health care for everybody, and now we're poisoning our children. So the next generations that are going to come up are going to have significant problems because, again, the effects of lead on children, developing children, um, are I mean, there are numerous effects: lower IQ, higher aggression. These people are not going to grow up to add to society as much as they could have. It destroys their potential. And what are we doing it to? We're doing it to people who are poor, who are disadvantaged, um, who are in these public school systems.
Well, most importantly, I mean, we're doing it to children. I mean, and
Yes,
we're doing it to the future.
exactly.
We're doing it to our future. And I mean, it's got to be, I mean, I have a lot of friends that, are new parents, and I'm sure you do too, Jeff. We're around the same age. And
Hmm.
I can't imagine what it's like. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like talking to your kid about what's going on right now. I mean, if your kid's cognizant enough
Yeah.
to know what's going on a little bit, and they see and they hear stuff. I can't imagine what it's like trying to talk to them. And the way that we've gone backwards, I mean, now you hear these stories of kids, using racial slurs at each other more than they were before. You see these blogs of people talking about that. Like a black kid's coming home from school. They're saying that somebody said, called them the N word and said, well, I can do that now because Trump's president. I mean, you're seeing stories like this, and it's such a step backward because that was one area where we had come so far because so many children only knew a black president. So many children, racism was something they didn't understand, because they grew up around more diversity. And, I would have friends of mine, they would say, yeah, our kids these days, they don't see that around as much. They don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to them. Because that's something that's learned. It's not something you're born with. It's something that's learned.
Right.
And now it seems like we're going so far backwards to the point where not only are we protecting our kids from evil ideas, we're not protecting them from water contamination. We're not protecting them from having a sound education system for them. We're not protecting them from anything. I mean, it's like, and I don't know the fix for this. I'm not even a parent myself, but we don't have a safe society for our kids anymore. They're our future.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.